Oh, I feel like we're gonna benefit from this heavy. That looks like it's moving. Alright. So, we're finally here. First episode. It feels good because I feel like I've been trying to set up for ages. And like I was trying to choose locations around my house and like see what areas would be good. And I kind of just decided that my bedroom is probably the best place. Probably because like, as you can see, it's got my aesthetic. So you already know. I could have been in your girl's room too, but I decided not to because she makes too much noise. Today, I just wanted to talk about why sometimes I think it's okay to be toxic. Now, there's a whole lot of things that we can talk about through this. I'm gonna take you through like each and every one. I know that it's gonna sound kind of biased with some of the things that I say, but I'm gonna try and be like as balanced as I can throughout this whole thing, so you guys can kind of like get both sides of it. I'm gonna try and explain both perspectives, okay? So I feel like in a relationship, it's always kind of like this backhanded race to see who can cheat first. Now this is purely based on insecurities. The only reason you're ever gonna be racing someone in your relationship to cheat first is if you're insecure about it. You can't go into a relationship thinking that you're gonna have to cheat on someone before they cheat on you, because then in that case you might as well not be in a relationship. However, in most cases in this day and age, that is kind of how society perceives a relationship. Now, of course, it's all good and well to think a certain type of way, to not have those trust issues and stuff like that, but the trust issues is just how it starts. You'll have the trust issues, you'll overthink, and the next thing you know, your girl is smoking backward with other niggas. That is not me. I am not trying to be that guy. Do you understand what I'm saying? I protect myself. Cheat first, win the race. Simple as that. Okay, nah, but in all honesty though, if you genuinely love someone and you genuinely trust them and, you know, there's never really been any problems between you two in the relationship, you're probably not gonna fear this. You're probably not even gonna think about it. But that does not mean that it cannot happen to you. That does not mean you are fucking invincible from getting cheated on. Trust me, it happens to the most compatible couples. I guess in my head, I just kind of feel like to just trust someone in a relationship isn't really enough. Like, I understand that trust is a big thing, but you can't just have trust in someone. Like, that person needs to have some sort of like ties to you on like a spiritual and emotional level beyond just like a social construct like trust. Do you understand what I'm saying? You and that person need to be like one. You need to be like merged. Literally, like when I say you need to be in that person's skin, you can do it physically, rip them open and jump in. Do it in a mental sense. You know, like you and that person need to be attached to the hip. If you think that there's going to be no way that they're going to cheat on you. And I feel like because of like in this day and age, most relationships are kind of built off online. So a lot of the time people will link up and it will be through like Tinder, or it'll be through like some sort of social media app, probably Instagram, something like that. They'll link up through there and then they'll start talking now. But you're not really getting to know the person. More time you're getting to know the impressionable version of what you want that person to be. So like, for example, I can pretend to be Morgan Freeman online. If I'd done it well enough, everyone would think I'm Morgan Freeman and everyone would be like, oh my God, you're Morgan Freeman. And then when they see me in real life, they're just like, oh, it's LJ, that's cool. My point is, if you have that physical engagement with someone, I feel like you're gonna get a bit more of a connection and a different kind of energy. Do you understand? I feel like a lot of the time, toxic relationships are built due to the fact that they're made online. If you ask most people who have been in toxic relationships and you ask them how they met, more time, it will be through some sort of online dating app. That's what I know of anyway. I know that from my experiences, from what I've seen from an outside and an inside perspective. So it's not like I'm just talking a load of waff, even though I am. And yeah, like, I think the toxic behavior and like cheating and all of that stuff is pushed so much today because it's kind of like the norm. If you go on social media, cheating is glorified. You cheat on someone, it's glorified. You talk to your brethren, you're gonna laugh with them about cheating and doing this and doing that. Like, being toxic is a good thing in this day and age. However, if you still want to keep that toxic attitude, you're probably not gonna be able to get into a healthy relationship. I do understand why some people are toxic, especially in situations like this. It's because they don't want to be the one that gets cheated on. It's an insecurity thing, I get it. However, if you forever think like that, I promise you, you will never have a healthy relationship, because you will be constantly worrying about your partner cheating on you. And trust me, that's not what you want. And you hear a lot of stories as well. Like, if you go online, I look online pretty much like every day. You can't avoid it, innit? Either way, you're probably gonna end up on some sort of social media, whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know what you guys do nowadays, fucking Grinder. But you will see posts about literally the maddest stories that you've ever seen, and you'll think to yourself like, what are you saying? What on earth are you saying? Like, you're literally talking about how you cheated on your man and you're proud of it. You girls, man. You girls are dangerous, I swear. But I don't think necessarily being toxic in a relationship makes you the bad person. See, like, there's multiple scenarios in which you could become toxic and that make you toxic. So for example, you could be with a toxic partner and that partner could make you toxic. And that isn't necessarily your fault. You live under the influence of them. When you're together with someone, you live under the influence of them. Your energy kind of bounces off of them. You become similar people. So if you act a certain way towards someone, they're probably going to act a similar way towards you, especially in a relationship. So if you act toxic towards your partner's probably going to end up acting toxic to you. And then the person who was toxic in the first place isn't going to like that, because they want to be the one in control. They want to be the one who's able to manipulate and have power in the situations. Like me, do you understand? Except I can never be manipulated. Try and get into my head. Try right now. It's not working, is it? Exactly. Throughout my whole relationship, I feel like I was super toxic. I tried to manipulate my way through every situation just to avoid exposing myself for the person that I was being. But technically, I feel like that makes me the good person, you know? Because I was trying to help her not see the bad things I was doing. Therefore, I was keeping her safe from the bad things. Technically, I'm the knight in shining armor in this situation. In other scenarios, I feel like you can become toxic just because you're a little bit overprotective. So it can be a thing where, like, you might see your girl going out. She might be with guy friends. You might see your man going out. She's with his girlfriends. And all of a sudden, you're kind of like, hold on. If you can go out with them, you can go out with me. Like, what's the difference? However, it's nice to have, like, a social circle outside of your relationship, because you need to be able to build them same relationships with people outside of your own intimate relationship with your girl or your man. Like, it works the same way. I understand why people get jealous, but if you're going to consistently be jealous, don't get into a relationship. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand the clingy thing. Trust me, I get the clingy thing. I get it's cute. I get the I want you all to myself vibe. But it's also psychotic and weird. And, like, not everyone likes it. I'll tell you the truth. I don't know a guy that actually likes psychotic and weird. I think it's psychotic and weird. That's why I'm calling it that. You girls would call it clingy and I want you to myself. No, that's not how this works, bro. Before I was with you, I was, like, talking to 20 girls and they were all my friends. So why now that I've got a girl, can I not have 19 female friends? But, like, being truthful, we're sitting here right now. It's just me and the camera and you guys watching. No one else is listening to your thoughts, yeah? Be honest with yourself. How many times have you guys thought about cheating? Talked about cheating, cheated? Literally, probably every day. If you're in a relationship, you've probably thought about it at least once a day. And the only reason you think about it, it may not necessarily be because you want to do it, but it's always going to be in the back of your head because you're thinking, what if my partner's doing that to me? Those thoughts kind of overshadow all of the good thoughts, and that's something you kind of need to try and avoid. The negative stuff is kind of hard to get rid of, and I know that. That's just the human brain. That's how the human brain works. It will always try and overshadow you with negative thoughts rather than positive ones. And that's why you kind of have to enforce a positive mindset into your life. I feel like being toxic can make the environment that you're in very unstable as well outside of your relationship. So it can involve your friendship group, especially if you're toxic around your friends. It will definitely lead to you hurting your own friendships. It can even lead to you hurting family friendships as well. And these things are big factors in playing a part in having a good, healthy mindset and making sure that you're able to care for your partner and look after them without it being toxic and weird. And I think the main factor for people not being able to handle their emotions in certain situations is the fact that they have their insecurities. Now, I understand that it's very hard to get over certain insecurities. Some are changeable, some are not. The ones that you can change, you should never really worry about because you can change them. And if you're worried about them, that's your business because you're not doing anything to change the insecurities that you feel. The ones that you can't change, I do understand. Yeah, and I do get why it would make you feel a certain type of way if someone, you know, says something, or especially your partner. If your partner brings up a certain insecurity that you don't particularly like, you'll probably get offended and you'll probably be mad at them for a couple of hours. These types of things will literally lead you into a darker, more deeper hole and probably end up ruining your relationship, probably more than being toxic ever will. But this is why also I think being toxic isn't necessarily a bad thing, because being toxic can sometimes change the perspective for yourself. If you couldn't already tell, this isn't a relationship advice video. This is a self-help video, if anything. Realistically, being toxic can manipulate the situation into your favor. If you want it to be a little bit happier, you could manipulate and boom, all of a sudden, all of your worries are gone, but at a corrupted cost. That's the only thing you have to really worry about. Other than that, and at the end of the day, people who are toxic, you shouldn't really account them for that if they go into another relationship. If they've manipulated and cheated in the past, you shouldn't necessarily think that they're going to bring that into the new relationship. Bad people do change. Look at me. And I swear to God, I've changed. I'm an atheist, by the way, but I have changed. But I think as like a whole overview, I think people kind of just need to get out of this toxic mindset. In reality, the whole toxic thing is really boring. Like, a lot of people are fed up of it. And the people that still like to do it and enjoy being toxic and stuff like that, like, do your thing. I'm sure you're gonna have in your young age now. But when you're older, you need to bear in mind that this toxic behavior is not really gonna be able to stand, because being toxic is kind of an immature mindset. And you need to be able to work with your partner as a collective, put your energy and your soul into them in order for you to be able to trust them. It's all about the construct. It's all about building the foundations to a healthy relationship, and that's how it always starts. Then again, I'm telling you guys all about how to get a healthy relationship. It's not really that. It's kind of more of a, I just want you to see the pros and cons of being toxic. And then in addition to that, just put yourself in another person's perspective for a second. If you've ever been toxic in the past, think about how it made the other person feel. If you think about how it made the other person feel, genuinely sit there and think how it might have made the other person feel, I promise you, you will feel bad. And if you don't, you're never going to change. You're always going to be the way you are. Whether you think that is okay or not, it's not, because you're literally not going to succeed intimately in the future. But on that note, before I get too heated, I think I'm just going to leave it there, because I got a whole lot more to do. You can see I've got this wall behind me, yeah? I'm gonna do some stuff to this wall, so like every video you're probably gonna see like something different on this wall. Not something different, but like a little upgrade. Just because I'm like doing up my room right now, making it look all nice and that, getting it studio ready. And this is my first video too, so I'm expecting big things from this. I'm not expecting a humongous amount of support for my first video, but you know, any support is appreciated, and I really appreciate the people who did sit down and watch it and listen, took in some advice. Maybe you didn't, maybe you just thought it was funny, but like either way, that's, you know, that's basically what I aim to do. I'm aiming to just be myself in my videos. But yeah, other than that, guys, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. But yeah, peace out.